All right, what's going on, guys? It's Luke here. We had a pretty eventful day. We took 3 trades today. We ended up taking the first 2 in VC. We lost this trade, even though it could have been a break even. I'm going to run through it though. Then we went on to eval and ended up winning this trade. And then I went on again in PM and ended up taking this trade, luckily, because I needed one more winning day to secure before payout, and I'm not trading tomorrow or Friday, so I wanted to secure that payout. A bit risky, but I ended up catching this candle. I got pretty lucky. All the executions are in the Discord, so if you guys want to join, link will be in the pinned comment. If you guys want to join us for VC trading, and I'm going to have like proper live trading coming soon. I'm just like been researching a new computer to get, so it's going to make it a lot easier. But yeah, links in there. Link for Alpha Futures at 25% off. If you use the code November 25th, but if you use the sign up link, you'll get all that. So links in the pinned comment as well. So first trade coming into the day, we obviously took this short. Again, this could have been an easily break-even trade, but I went in super light risk on this. So basically, coming into the day, we had a huge bearish S&T off the highs. ES had swept out previous week's high, and NQ never did. So coming in, we already had a massive bearish S&T. On top of that, market opens up, manipulates the upside, ends up taking out London high, and we start kind of getting a rotation back down. So at this point, I kind of wanted to see a push down, potentially to take out Asia low and take out the rest of this sell side, because I'm like, why would we continue up? Like, I'm assuming this bearish S&P is going to play out. We manipulated up. We took out London high. I want to see a rotation back down. So we finally start to get that rotation down. We end up bouncing off this 15-minute first presented fair value gap right here. And obviously this would have been a bit of a red flag for me, but I just had confidence in us going lower and taking out these lower draws and liquidity. So basically on the 5-minute, we end up respecting bearish order flow. We come down, get a nice push down, and we respect out of this 5-minute bearish fair value gap right here, and we start to reject out of it. And at this point, I'm figuring we could at least come down and sweep out these lows down here. We have these relative equal lows right here. We have Asia low. Again, this was a bullish S&T coming into the day, but I did figure we had manipulation higher time frame bearish S&T. Order flow is bearish. We are respecting off this 15-minute first presented, but I'm kind of ignoring it because I just think we come down lower. It's just from market experience. So on the 3-minute, I believe it was the 3, or no. We reject off that 5-minute bearish fair value gap, and then we scale down and we're looking for an entry. We end up getting this 1-minute inversion of these 2 stacked up 1-minute fair value gaps. I don't think we had anything higher than that. I believe the 1 minute, 1 minute was the highest. Get this inversion. I enter a little bit on this retrace. Don't get the greatest entry. Obviously, I get in kind of a shitty fill at 172. I run stops above the, I think it was above the wick or the 5-minute body. I'd have to double check. I still have to post the executions for this trade, but I ran this really light. I ran this on 5 accounts, but I ran it only with like micros. This is a super light trade. I only ended up losing like about $100 or a little over $100 on each account. Went super light on this, and basically, price comes in, we get a little bit of drawdown right here. We continue to respect out of this inverse right here, and we reject, and then we finally come down and we start flushing lower, and we end up taking out this internal low and this internal low. And obviously, normally I would have gone break even, but since I didn't get the greatest entry and the risk to reward was not great, I continued to hold. But the other reason that I wanted to hold was also because we went super low risk, so I was willing to take the risk. But ES had left these equal lows right here, as you can see. ES left equal lows, and I figured that NQ and ES would probably want to flush those lows out and not just kind of leave them, and then we would see that continuation down to Asia. But price ends up reversing and ends up coming up and stopping us out. I thought this was a great trade. We had, again, manipulation off the highs, sweep of London high, higher time frame bearish S&T, 5-minute bearish for value gap, 1-minute inversion. Again, we could have gone break even at these lows right here, but again, I was willing to take the risk, and I thought ES was going to push lower towards those lows, and if ES took those lows out properly, I was going to go break even. But it is what it is. We end up taking the small loss on that, and then price continues up from there. So at this point, it was having issues on Top Step, so I decided to hop on eval at this point because Top Step X was messing around. I was having issues, so I just decided to run an eval. Basically, price came up, got a nice 5-minute continuation. We inverse that 5-minute bearish gap from earlier. We get a nice pull into a 5-minute bullish fair value gap. I enter off the 30-second rejection, and I basically just targeted one take profit in order for me to get the 1500 for the consistency, which just happened to sit right above those daily highs, which ES had swept out the previous day or whatever. So these swing highs rate here off this high right here, 25.313, whatever it is. So that was the eval trade. Now we come back into PM, and I again wanted to secure this payout because I needed one more day of a minimum $150 for my Top Step accounts. So I wanted to secure this payout. Basically, I went in light with this, but I seen that we had another SMT. As you can see, NQ failed to take out this high, and we look at ES, and ES ended up taking out that high, so we had a bearish SMT off the highs. From there, we started to see a rotation downwards, and what I'm noticing is we haven't had a real retrace. So I'm seeing that we could probably at least run through this low resistance sell side liquidity and come down and rebalance the range. So on the 3-minute, this is where I kind of built this trade. We get this 3-minute inversion right here, and then price comes back in and it respects out of the 3-minute bearish fair value gap. So at this point, I was willing to take this trade. I seen the 1 minute and the 30 seconds start to reject. So I got a little bit of a late entry, but I got in at 348 after the 1 minute kind of bearish close right here, or as this candle started to push, one of those candles right there. I ran my stops above the 3-minute body, or like of the middle candle of the fair value gap sequence, and I basically just targeted at the bottom of all this low resistance liquidity. This was my last kind of wick right here, so I just put my TP at 25,310, and this netted us about a 2.5 R trade. We ended up getting lucky on this candle, which was insane because it literally happened like in like the blink of an eye. It was pretty crazy. So again, bearish SMT off the highs, 3-minute inversion, 3-minute continuation off that gap. We get the rejection in the lower time frame, and we TP at the end of this low resistance sell side liquidity. So unfortunately, again, I took this on my own later in the day. Unfortunately, I didn't get to alert anyone on this because I thought this was just a risky setup in general. I was doing this. I didn't want to tell anyone to do this one. But yeah, ended up, again, one loss on the day on our fundeds, and then we ended up taking a winner, passing an eval, and then another winner for me on fundeds. Again, we'll run some stuff next week. That's it for me. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.